Hi everyone, it is Tara from Dauphin Public Library, one of the libraries in the Parkland Regional Library System here in Manitoba. And I'd like to acknowledge that the land I am on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Anishinaabe, Métis, Oceti-Sakowin, Dene, Ochakri, Cree, and is Treaty 2 land. Okay, so I am here with a cookbook review. So we haven't done one for a bit, so I thought I'd do one for this new air fryer cookbook. So lots of us have started buying air fryers, and so we bought a couple of air fryer cookbooks, and this is one of them, and it's 600 recipes. Effortless air frying recipes for beginners and advanced users. So I thought I'd experiment with a few different recipes. I made cheesy mushroom and cauliflower balls. I'll tell you what I made and then we'll review them. And I made rosemary and oyster chicken breasts, as well as tropical coconut chicken. Oh, and I also made chocolate fudge squares. Is that what I made? I thought I made brownies. Huh. Maybe they were called chocolate fudge squares. They kind of look like brownies to me. Yeah, I guess I made chocolate fudge squares. I thought it was whatever. It's brownies. Okay, so number one, the cookbook. It has all these recipes listed like this, under quick and easy, brunch, snacks and side dishes, pork, beef and lamb, poultry, fish and seafood, vegetables and vegetarian, and sweets and desserts. Talks about air fryers and benefits of it using an air fryer and how to use your air fryer. Now, there are so many different kinds of air fryers out there. So you kind of have to learn yours and how it works. I have a Pampered Chef one. So mine is different than the one like my mom has, which is kind of like a bowl one and you put stuff in. Mine has like racks, like you do in the oven and stuff. So it's all different. So, this recipe book doesn't have a single picture in it, and the directions, I don't think I've ever seen recipes with such few directions. I found it very shocking. So the first time I took this out, I didn't make a single thing because I couldn't fathom it. But then I just wanted to do a cookbook review, and I thought, I've got an air fryer. I want to see how this works. So, but like, look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 recipes on these 2 pages. 8 recipes on these 2 pages. So I'm a picture girl. I really like pictures. I need pictures. So the first recipe, the cheesy mushroom and cauliflower balls. Okay, so we're gonna have some pictures come up of this interesting recipe. So, this recipe took a lot of time to, dice up mushrooms and Then you had, if you choose, I didn't, there's also onions to chop up. Then there's garlic. I'm a vampire, so no garlic because that will kill me. Cauliflower chopped, but it just says chopped, and then does it say somewhere how? Like, it just says chopped. So it doesn't tell you how big to chop them. And then, like, you're sauteing this stuff in a skillet to start off with. And there's cheese as well. There's breadcrumbs, there's cheese, there's sprigs of thyme, yummy, fresh thyme, salt and pepper. So fairly basic, not many ingredients. Sounds like it should be fairly easy, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was. I thought it required way more effort than I wanted to spend on this. Once it was finished and I got to taste it, my husband's response was, could have done the same thing by just throwing it in some foil and putting it on the barbecue. And he's right. And it would have taken me like a 16th of the time, if even that. And would have had the exact same taste. This took time because you chop it all up and then you've got to form it into balls. But cauliflower, like, I cooked the cauliflower way longer than it said. It said to stir fry it for 5 minutes on the skillet. Well, at that point, it's still hard. So how are you supposed to form it into a ball? So I cooked it longer, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I couldn't get it to create a ball. Then I added more cheese because it still wasn't sticking together in a ball. All it was doing was crumbling in my hands. So I added a lot more cheese. Then it was super cheesy, which, you know, I love cheese. It asked for basically a Parmesan type of cheese. It called for Grana Padano? I looked it up, basically a Parmesan. And I actually, the night before, had run out of Parmesan cheese, so I just used whatever was in. I think I used mozzarella. Maybe I even threw some Havarti in there and some cheddar. So it was a mixture, but same amounts, and then I had to add more. I do not think Parmesan cheese, like a cup of Parmesan cheese, expensive. So I wouldn't have put that much in anyway, and I definitely wouldn't have added more Parmesan cheese to it. So that one, yeah. So then you have to put it in the fridge for a minimum of 30 minutes to get it a little more solid. And then you roll it in the breadcrumbs. And then you're supposed to brush it with olive oil and put it in the air fryer. But she often, she told you to preheat the air fryer to 350. And she often talks, this one doesn't say whether I'm supposed to, whether it's supposed to be air fried or they all have different settings, so a bake or not. I think I did air fry 14 to 16 minutes. I think I did the 14, or maybe actually a little bit more. Maybe it was, I don't know, whatever. No, it was less because mine on air fry sits at 400. So I did it for less time. It browned up beautifully, as you can see from the picture. But it didn't stay in a ball shape. It spread out because the cheese, it kind of, there was nothing really holding it together except the cheese, and the cheese melted. So I have wire racks that made a mess. I am still trying to scrub those racks clean. They don't want to, like, the cheese wants to be part of the rack from now until eternity. So I will never remake this recipe. I might throw all those ingredients in foil and throw it on the barbecue, but I'm not putting that on my wire racks of my air fryer ever again. So that one was definitely a fail. Okay. Next up, rosemary and oyster chicken breasts. Once again, like, there are 8 recipes on this page. The instructions are vague, although this one does say bake in the fryer for 6 minutes. I'm using an air fryer. Why would I bake it? So I didn't. I air fried it. Oh, so 6 minutes, and then you're supposed to, so there's 2 sauces. There's a sauce that you marinate the chicken in, and then there's a sauce that you apply about halfway through the cooking process that has some sugar in it. Good plan to do it halfway through. It worked out best that way. So did that up. The recipe, it's delicious. It is delicious. So I made some alterations to it because I did not have any fresh, well, it calls for ginger paste. I've never owned ginger paste. I either buy fresh ginger or use ginger powder. Was out of fresh ginger, don't own ginger paste, so I just used powder. I used a lot. I love ginger. Ginger, soy sauce, olive oil, and then for the other part of the sauce, I think, is the oyster sauce, rosemary, brown sugar, and then lemon wedges afterwards, kind of sprinkle on. It was delicious. So I did it air fryer. So once again, not sure. I think the time worked out. My chicken breasts were really, really thick, as you can see from the picture that should come up. But oh my goodness, delicious. This is a win, total win. But I don't understand why she says bake when it's an air fryer. But yummy, so yummy. The rosemary and oyster chicken breasts, yummy. Okay, I think I'll come back and do a part 2 to this review and talk about the other 2 recipes I did. Okay, so thanks for tuning in for part 1 of some recipe reviews on the air fryer cookbook. And we will see you in part 2. Bye for now.